A crysknife is a milk-white curved and double-edged knife made from the tooth of an Arrakis desert worm. To the desert people of Arrakis, the Fremen, a crysknife is sacred. If the blade was drawn, it could not be resheathed until it had drawn blood, and the blade was not to be seen by outsiders of the tribe. Otherwise, the people would either be killed or cleansed in a ritual. The sharpness of the blades is said to be unparalleled, and they even glow in dull light. In Dune, the crysknife is referred to as the fabled crysknife of Arrakis, the blade that had never been taken off the planet and was known only by rumor and wild gossip. The Fremen are a group of people who live in the deserts of Arrakis. The actual population of the Fremen had been greatly underestimated by the Imperium before the events of Dune. Much of Fremen culture is dominated by the fight for survival due to the brutal conditions of the planet Arrakis. The environmental realities of the planet brought about the necessity for sparse use of resources and energy, especially water. In fact, much of Fremen culture is based around the preservation of water. Also, the Fremen's long history with persecution demanded the need for refined combat knowledge. These are the major two aspects responsible for the development of the Fremen culture and their emergence as efficient and hardy warriors who use their own skills while working in tangent with the environment of the planet Arrakis to fend off opponents who often possess far superior formal training and technology. The Fremen people came to Arrakis thousands of years before the events of Dune. They were the Zensuni Wanderers, a sect of religious people in retreat from persecution. On the planet Portarin, a people that would later become the Fremen had grown soft due to the easy conditions of their planet. This, however, made them an easy target for Imperial raiders. Slave colonies were planted on the planets Belategus and Seleucia Secundus. The Fremen eventually spread to other planets, including Harmontep, before eventually stopping on Dune. Though Portarin is considered by some to be the original planet of the Fremen, it is said, in terminology of the Imperium, that there are clues in their language and mythology that show far more ancient planetary roots. The Fremen people are organized into groups, communities called sieches. Each siege is built within one of the numerous rocky formations that exist sporadically throughout the sands of Arrakis. Leading each siege is a Niab, a leader who ascends to his position by challenging his predecessor in combat, thus proving himself the strongest member of the tribe. The Fremen justice system also primarily relies on trial by combat. The Fremen are some of the best hand-to-hand warriors in the entire universe. The harsh conditions of the planet Dune have forced them to be so. In the first book in the series, Paul Atreides teaches the Fremen warriors the Weirding Way, and with this, they are able to overthrow the Imperial Sardaukar soldiers, who were previously unbeatable. As I mentioned earlier, water also played a vital role in Fremen culture. To the Fremen people of Arrakis, water was truly life. There was almost no water on the surface of Arrakis. For this reason, Fremen survival demanded that they conserve against the unnecessary loss of water at all cost. All Fremen wear still suits, which are full-body filtration systems which reclaim the body's water. The wearer of a still suit would lose only a thimbleful of water per day, and be able to survive for 4 weeks in the open desert. Without a still suit, a person would die in the desert sun within hours. In Fremen culture, the water of each person's body belongs to the tribe. When a Fremen dies, the tribe conserves their water by distilling it from the dead body. The Fremen use wind traps to collect water from their atmosphere. This water is preserved in underground caches. Each Fremen child develops the eyes of Ibad before they reach adolescence. These blue within blue eyes are due to their excessive ingestion of the spice melange. It is the marker of spice addiction. This cannot be avoided for people living in the deep desert. The Fremen are also a deeply spiritual people and very superstitious. Since they have been on Arrakis, they have adapted their Zensuni faith to the desert environment of the planet. The great sandworm of the planet Dune is to the Fremen known as Shai Halud. The worms were believed to be the physical manifestations of God. Thus, the worms are worshipped by the Fremen people. Much of the Fremen belief system was based upon prophecy, and the Bene Gesserit sisterhood is responsible for sowing the seeds of a significant portion of Fremen legends and myths. Each Fremen siege has a Sayadina, a wise woman, a rogue Reverend Mother who possess some of the talents of the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mothers due to the Missionara Protectiva. The Sayadina is a significant part of Fremen spiritual traditions. There are also various Islamic undertones and Arabic etymologies found in Fremen culture and throughout Dune. The planet known as Arrakis seems to be derived from the Arabic word for dancer, which derives from Rax. With the added to the beginning, it becomes Arrakis, the dancer. It may also be possible that the name Arrakis derives from the Arabic Arrakis, meaning the cheapest or of least worth. This seems accurate considering the fact that before the discovery of spice melange, the planet was of no real value. The Death Commanders which Paul trains, known as the Fadakin, get their name from the Arabic word Fadayin, which in the time that Dune was being written was the term used for Palestinian guerrilla warriors. Many other words and names in the series are Arabic in origin. Frank Herbert based the Fremen culture in part on the Bedouin people who have historically inhabited the desert regions of the Arabian Peninsula, Iraq, and northern Africa. The English word Bedouin comes from the Arabic Badoui, meaning desert dweller. Frank Herbert also based the Fremen in part on the Tuaregs, the nomadic people who principally inhabit the Sahara Desert. In Dune, the Fremen people are survivors. They have persevered through persecution and managed to topple their enemies, though at a great cost. In Frank Herbert's 1960s sci-fi series, Dune, the Tleilaxu are an extremely secretive group of humans who live on the planet Tleilax, which is the only planet circling the star Thalum. The Tleilaxu are genetically altered and